Good morning, Bob Long, LADC. I want to ask you a question. What's stopping you? Serious question. Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of success? Is the fear that you might fail so much that you don't even try? Could be. You have to figure out why you choose not to change. It's really that simple. A lot of times I think we have to redefine what failure is. Failure is really a learning tool. It's okay to fail. Matter of fact, I expect to fail at a lot of things. But that's okay because I take it in stride. We have to learn how to fail properly. So you have tried to get clean and sober before, and your little voice of addiction manipulated and talked you into using again. I get it, no problem with that. Relapse is part of recovery. So if you relapse, don't beat yourself up. Don't let that little voice beat you up. Here's what usually happens. You relapse, and the next day, the little voice inside your head says, oh my God, I thought you were stronger than this. Why did you relapse? You're a worthless human being, something along those lines. And then in order to shut it up, you go drink or use a little bit more. And that's exactly what the little voice wants. It wants you to put more of that stuff into your body. Don't listen to everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. Don't listen to your own thoughts sometimes. That little voice of addiction is very manipulative, and it has tricked many people who swore up and down they would never ever use or drink again into doing it again. Thomas Edison was asked one time, how did it feel to fail at making a light bulb 1,000 times? And Edison smiled and he replied, he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. He said, I learned 1,000 different ways how not to make a light bulb. And I think that that's a very healthy attitude, because we're not always going to be successful the first, second, or third time out. You may not be successful in your recovery the first, second, or third time. You may relapse. But we kick ourselves. We think it's the end of the world. I think sometimes we believe that if we are successful, then people around us will expect us to repeat that success over and over and over. Well, I got news for you. Some people can repeat that success, but other people who are more human like me will have some lapses along the way. And that's okay, just as long as we learn something from those lapses. Let's talk about weakness for a second. If you blame your behaviors on the fact that I was under the influence of whatever, meth, alcohol, marijuana, whatever, that's pretty weak, because you're blaming a substance. You're actually blaming, here we go, turn around, Mel's turning me around. You're actually putting the blame on the choice that you made to become intoxicated. Because quite honestly, no one grabs your head, holds it backwards, put a funnel in your mouth, and makes you drink. That is not how this happens. You have chosen to get drunk, knowing, or get high, knowing you have a history of a certain behavior. Maybe it's aggressive behavior. Maybe it's, I don't know, whatever behavior it is, it's maladaptive and not healthy. And it's a possibility that it could happen again, but yet that little voice says, oh, I can control it. Bullshit. Excuse me, YouTube. Look at the record. Have you been able to control it on a consistent basis? No, you haven't. There's a little formula out there. Persistent and consistent behavior over time equals your character. Now, if you have been consistently and persistently, I'm sorry, baby, I tripped over her. You've been consistently and persistently drinking and or using, and you're a mean drunk, that's your character. If you want to change that character, the formula still applies. Consistent and persistent behavior over time will create the new brand, the new reputation, the new character that you wish to be known for. So many of us wish that other people would change, stop their drinking, stop their using, but they refuse to look at themselves. I am actively losing weight. I'm actively getting in shape, and I do it through consistent and persistent behavior, which is why most of these videos are taken with me walking a dog. Today it smelled. So, and it takes a lot of self-discipline. 4:30 in the morning, the alarm goes off. The hardest conversation I have with my little Ernie, my little voice of addiction, every morning is at 4:30. It says, reset the alarm to 5:30 or 6. You don't have to be at work until 7, blah, blah, blah. I'm going like, no, shut up. I got to take care of the dogs. I need to go get my protein drink in. I need to go for a walk. I need this. I need whatever physical activity I planned for the day, because it's summertime in Oklahoma. And right now it's about 70 degrees and the sun's just coming up, and it's only going to get hotter. So I want to do this smart. I want you to recover in a smart way. Don't try to do it alone. If you've never tried a 12-step group because you've been resistant, that's because your little voice of addiction says, oh, come on, man, that's more triggering than it is helpful. Well, that's a really good excuse not to go. Get to the point where your brain heals. Get to the point where you can help others. Get to a point where you can become a sponsor, because helping others is where it's at. Hey, listen, you all have a great day. Bob Long out of here.